We're here in Atlanta talking to Greg Amerson, one of the featured coaches at the upcoming Sunaskeo Clinic in Frisco, Texas. Just wanted to kind of find out from you, Coach Greg, what it is that you plan on bringing to the camp and how the young people are going to benefit from their exposure to you during that time.
Yes, well, thank you. Yes, I plan to bring a certain level of intensity to the program, to the classes, that I think is very important for the student to be involved. And I also will bring that strategic, tactical element that's very necessary, because a lot of players can hit the ball, but how many players can really understand what they should be doing point after point after point? And that kind of intensity is what I plan to bring to the program.
Awesome. One of the things that we're going to be doing is trying to identify people's talent and what their potential is. What are the kinds of things that you look at with a young player? I guess we're talking about kids 15 to down as young as 10. What do you look at to kind of figure out if somebody has great potential?
I tell you, movement is major, and so movement is one of the first things I'm looking for. How well do you get to the ball with balance, and also just that attentiveness that's necessary to listen to the coaches and actually use that information to go right into the next group of hitting that you're going to do.
Okay. I know, and some of the other people watching probably know, that you were a major instrumental part in the development of Grace Min and then Andy Daniel. When did you get them, and what was the process that they went through to become the players that they are now?
Well, I tell you, both those players, Grace and Andy, started with them about 8.5. And I'm presently still working with Andy Daniel, but with Grace, I trained her until she was 12.5. And we just spent a lot of time. I tell you, the commitment that's necessary that they see from the coach, I think, is very major, because they know it's going to be consistent effort coming from the coach. And that's a comfort and security that a player, I think, really needs. And so the relationship is very important, and the bond that you get with a player.
Okay. When you're here, we're going to be in a situation where you're not going to know very many of these kids. How will you go about trying to determine personalities? Is your personality on the court, are you fairly jovial, or are you pretty serious kind of person? What's that part of it going to be like?
Well, the command style is pretty strong, and I'm typically more of a cooperative kind of coach. In other words, I like to talk to the player and get to kind of understand the way they feel and some of their perceptions and how they go about their training, and that allows me a chance to relate to them a little bit better. I think I've taken a lot of psychology courses in college, believe it or not, and I think that's helped me a lot with just the human behavior. So it really doesn't take a long time, because once you kind of see their characteristics and their personality and how they go about their training, then you kind of get a good idea on how to coach them and what to say to them.
Okay. I think that you're been briefed and pretty familiar on what the whole Sunaskeo program is and how it's comprehensive and interdisciplinary. What's your feelings on working with sports psychologists and working with speed and strength and agility coaches and things like that, an interdisciplinary approach as opposed to you're kind of providing all of those services yourself?
I tell you, it's amazing, and a lot of times right now, a lot of programs don't even have that sort of comprehensive program and the psychology part of it, and I think it's very valuable. The movement, to have a person to specialize in that area. You can look on tour right now, and there's major players with Venus and Serena, Roger Federer. So many of these players right now are having a trainer to travel with them to events. And so you got to realize that's major, and it's very important to keep them flexible, to keep them stretched out, to keep them having their massages after the matches are over. So to have someone to specialize in that area is major.
Well, thanks a lot. We look forward to seeing you at the camp. Is there anything else that you'd like to kind of share with people that we didn't ask you about?
Well, I tell you, I just love this game, have a lot of passion for it, love to get around other players who have the same kind of passion for the game. And so I know right now it's going to be an awesome time. We're going to have a lot of players that are enthusiastic and ready to learn, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Great. Thanks a lot. We look forward to seeing you there.
Hey, you're welcome. I can't wait.